This is a media research presentation about dyslexia. This presentation includes why I chose dyslexia, an overview of what dyslexia is, the types, signs, and symptoms of dyslexia, testing for dyslexia, as well as helpful ways parents and teachers can help children diagnosed with dyslexia. We will then look at various media types that portray people with dyslexia in both positive and sometimes negative ways. This is a brief overview about what dyslexia is. I chose dyslexia for my media analysis because my brother is diagnosed as having dyslexia. I am diagnosed as having ADHD. While these are considered two different learning disabilities, their symptoms are quite similar, and it is often difficult to differentiate between the two when making diagnoses.
I sat at a table while the other kids were reading books. I couldn't read.
All I knew was that I couldn't do what other kids were doing.
Grades were bad, self-esteem started to collapse. I would look at the blackboard, and it was just gobbledygook to me. I could tell I just wasn't that competent.
You think that there's something wrong with you, or you think that maybe you're making it up in your head.
There are symbols, but they don't seem to have any real significance to me.
Dyslexia robs a person of time.
Frankly, at our school, we were very scared of students with his profile.
You may be dyslexic if you can't spell and have messy handwriting, but your writing shows terrific imagination.
Art is definitely where I found my safe zone.
I think the dyslexia is positive for creativity.
You can be the smartest person in the world. You can even be a Nobel Prize winner, but you still won't read quickly.
The unforeseeable conflict was lockers. Still don't know how to use them.
Patience to continue. The perseverance that is critical when you have dyslexia.
Even if you feel uncomfortable doing it, you have to push yourself to do whatever it takes. I might look really silly, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do well on the test because I have 500 flashcards sitting on my desk.
I realized the only way I can read is if I underline or highlight.
It's so important to just own it. To just totally own it.
Wow, I just wrote a 74-page document. I'm still ready to go. You know, what's next?
This public service announcement is done in a tasteful and positive way. It incorporates music and song to convey the challenges faced by those diagnosed with dyslexia.
Ready? Let's follow the bouncing ball. And a 1, 3, and a 1, 3, 2, 4. Fast riding, when you're leading roads and riding roads, and they just don't come out right. Fast riding, when you hear moo moo, but you think oink oink, you feel like a donkey. Okay, kids, faster. Fast riding, when the dog is out and God is a dog, do you throw a bone or play? Fast riding, when the A is a C and the B is a D and the E is a 3, and that's just like Chinese. Fast riding, fast riding, fast riding, fast riding, fast riding, fast riding. Sure is. Believe it. Fast riding.
This video seems to convey a slightly negative view of dyslexia in my opinion. It is stated that those who have dyslexia are afraid to pick up a pen, but then ask the viewer what their excuse is. This seems to imply that those diagnosed with dyslexia do not pick up their pens because of an excuse. To me, this seems negative.
One child in every classroom is too frightened to pick up a pen. They're dyslexic. What's your excuse?
A reoccurring theme that I found throughout many of the media types I researched was that of the success story. Here is just one example of people diagnosed with dyslexia doing great things and or becoming famous. A great quote from one of the moms on her blog she says, "I've said it too many times to count. This is a journey. For our family, it has also been a gift. Dyslexia has truly impacted us in challenging ways, but in positive ways too." During my research of blogs done by parents of children with dyslexia, I found that the parents presented positive views of dyslexia. The only negativity I found within the parental blogs were that many of them were unhappy with how they had spoken to their child that has dyslexia prior to their child being diagnosed. Despite those regrets, they have moved forward in very positive directions with their children to ensure they receive all the supports they need to become successful students and adults. Most media researched for this presentation portrayed dyslexia and those diagnosed with it in a positive way. The parents' perspectives reinforced my own beliefs about dyslexia and those diagnosed with it. As this presentation comes to a close, you should have a better understanding of dyslexia and its challenges and be more aware of how different media portrays dyslexia in both a positive and sometimes negative way. The content of this presentation has been well researched and accurately documented. The information has been presented in an orderly and easy to follow format. Additionally, video examples showing dyslexia being represented in both a positive and a negative light have been included so that you may formulate your own perspectives and beliefs about dyslexia. This is the last video of the presentation. It is a positive portrayal of people with dyslexia and their successes.
What do you know about dyslexia? What is dyslexia?
I have no idea. It is a learning difference. I know it's enriched my life. I know that it is a very special brain that gives you that abstract thought pattern.
It just means that you're able to look at things a little bit different.
Learning difference? I like that. That's great. I think a lot more people would be apt to recognize it in their kids if it's called a learning difference.
When I realized what they had done, it was just horrifying to me.
I was so nervous and scared about going to school. The teacher would say, "Where's your work? I didn't do it."
I think the most powerful influence you can have as a parent is to constantly underline what the kid can do and make a big deal of it.
Mom and I were in it together, and she taught me to fight for myself.
My drama teacher actually let me direct people in the class. It was the first time in my life where somebody ever said, "Wow, you're good at this."
Watch out, we get ready to fight.